Sure, Mario and Zelda are always among the best Nintendo games, and you really couldn't have a system without them, but there are plenty of Nintendo franchises that have fallen out of the mainstream. The Switch may just be the perfect system to revive long-forgotten series, seeing as it'll receive a big chunk of what was once the 3DS game production, and because games like Mario and Zelda have kind of been reinvented on the system. What happened to these games? What will become of them? And which one most deserves a big revival? Hello all 37 of you, I'm Redkwan, and in this video, we'll take a look at some of Nintendo's fallen franchises. The 4 biggest series to be in need of a revival, as chosen by me, so you know it's good, are F-Zero, Advance Wars, Earthbound, and Star Fox. I know Star Fox isn't one that's been gone for too long. I mean, Star Fox Zero came out in 2016, but it isn't even close to being one of Nintendo's biggest series, and all the mainline games are based really heavily on the SNES Star Fox. So yes, new ones have come out, but it still definitely could use a reimagining and reinventing of the series. I'll start out with F-Zero, the futuristic and fast racing game. The last console F-Zero was on the GameCube, although there were a couple handheld releases after that. So yeah, it's been a long time for F-Zero. The big case for F-Zero coming back is that it's a racing game unlike anything else Nintendo makes. Yes, they have Mario Kart, and yes, Fast RMX is pretty similar, although not made by Nintendo. But F-Zero is unique even among these, and the more realistic style of the games would lend well to the Switch marketing toward an older and more game enthusiast demographic. The series is also beloved by fans, and although sales were never great, I think it could be successful on the Switch and make fans very happy. Next up is Advance Wars, a war and battle strategy game series. Advance Wars hasn't been gone quite as long as F-Zero, but it's still close to 10 years. The reason why we haven't seen an Advance Wars game in so long is because of Fire Emblem. Fire Emblem has taken over the Nintendo-produced strategy RPG area, and Advance Wars is sort of faded out. That doesn't mean people don't want to see a return, however, because while Fire Emblem is more character interaction based, Advance Wars implemented a lot of cool ideas in the combat. With the popularity and similarity of Fire Emblem, Advance Wars isn't as necessary as it used to be, but it definitely has had some cool and unique ideas to offer, and I think it has a good case for a return. The next candidate is Earthbound or Mother, a top-down, more adventure-based RPG. There were 3 main Mother games, and the last one was Mother 3 in 2006. It never ended up making its way to the US though, so the series, while beloved by many, has hardly seen any American release. Earthbound is considered one of the best games on the Super Nintendo, and maybe one of the best RPG games of all time, and yet the series has been absent for years. The best reasoning for its return is the fact that so many people like the games and want to play them. The other side though is that even if new games were released, they may be only released in Japan, and the games have never really gone beyond a 2D style as was on the SNES and older Nintendo handhelds. With the Switch being more powerful, it might be strange for a new big game to come out being top-down, and it would probably be even weirder for it to go from 16-bit to HD. Whether or not it would be logical, the fact still remains that the Earthbound series is loved by many, and it has been gone for far too long in the eyes of many fans. The last candidate for a revival is Star Fox. Like I said in the beginning, Star Fox never really left, but it has seen less and less prominent releases. And Star Fox on the SNES, Star Fox 64, and Star Fox Zero are all incredibly similar. So this one isn't so much that it should be made again after a long hiatus, as it is that it should be changed up. The other 3 games are unique, but Nintendo has had racing games and other RPGs. They only have one vehicle shooter. Is that what it would be classified as? I don't know. Feel free to call me out on that one. But the point is, Star Fox is really the only series of its kind for Nintendo, and it's a shame that it's hardly been explored to its potential. There are so many places that the series could be taken in. I think the Star Fox games could be made really big in the future if Nintendo took the right steps. So which of these do I think most needs a revival? I think that F-Zero and Star Fox are probably the best candidates. There hasn't been a new F-Zero game in a long time, and people really like the games. There are other racing games on the Switch, but I still think F-Zero would add to the console's library in some new ways. While the games haven't sold especially well in the past, I think that the audience using the Switch fits really well with F-Zero, and that if it was pushed, sales would be really good. I think Star Fox would also be pretty cool to see a return, and I think a new game is pretty likely too. It just comes down to what they do with it to make it better. They would need to change up a lot to have it really classify as a revival for me. That being said, I do think any of these series would do well if they came back. If there was a system for you to see one of those series again, it's the Switch, and I think there's a better chance now than ever to see some of these long-forgotten series return. There are so many new games coming out, and all of Nintendo's development will be focused on one platform, and I hope we see all these series return in the future. Well, I'm Redkwan. Comment below about what series you want to see return and all the obvious stuff I missed. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and goodbye.